Hello, my name is Cheryl Morales, and I'm the founder and president of GAHFU American Heritage Foundation United. I would like to welcome you to the first annual GAHFU American Heritage Award. Tonight, we are gathered here to honor 5 distinguished men and women for their loyal service to the Garifuna community over the years. I would just like to take a brief moment to tell you a little bit about Garifuna American Heritage Foundation. Over the years, we've done many projects in the Garifuna community, here in Los Angeles and in other states. One of the first projects that GAHFU embarked on was to host the Garifuna Community Forums here in Los Angeles and also in New York. The second venture that we took part in was called Operation Labuga. Operation Labuga was a project where we gathered school supplies and medical supplies and shipped it to Livingston, Labuga. Another event that we ventured in with the late Andy Palacio was a school supply fundraiser for Guwie School in Dangriga. With the help and support of Andy Palacio and the Garifuna Collective, we were able to raise over $2,000 in school supplies and ship it to the Guwie School.
Good evening. My name is Ronnie Figueroa, and I am the Vice President of the Garifuna American Heritage Foundation United. We are very excited to have all of you this evening to celebrate 5 men and women who have been working in the community to make it what it is today, a vibrant Garifuna community in Los Angeles, California. GAHFU is pleased to welcome you to the first annual Garifuna American Heritage Awards. GAHFU is able to do a lot of work in the community thanks to the participation of Garinagu and non-Garinagu in Los Angeles. Some of the work that GAHFU has done is the Garifuna School, which started in 2005 at the Mabatua Cultural Center located on Normandy and 51st. In 2005, we had teachers like Carlos Domingo Alvarez, who is being nominated tonight, Mr. Clifford Palacio, and then in 2008, we moved to where it currently is located at the Blazer Learning Center, located at 1517 West 48th Street. When we started in 2008, we had the participation of people like Mr. Clifford Palacio, Carlos Domingo Alvarez, Ruben Reyes, Sidney Mejia, and many, many more that came around to teach not only the Garifuna language, but the drumming and the other cultural aspects of the Garifuna people, like the music and dance and the food. We also take pride in working with other organizations like the Garifuna Organization of Los Angeles, GOLA, the Settlement Day Committee, in fundraisers. Some of the fundraisers we have also done are to help some of the schools in Belize, like Guwie School, and Andy Palacio came to be of a lot of help. He provided a free concert in Los Angeles, and the money that was raised was utilized to buy school supplies for Guwie in Dangriga. Also, we did a fundraiser to send it to the children in Labuga, Livingston. And there's more fundraisers coming up for different schools in not only Belize, but also in Honduras and Nicaragua. We also take pride in the Central American Parade because the Garifuna community is represented with 1 or 2 floats showcasing the best of the Garifuna culture around September during the Central American Independence celebrations. One of the biggest events that GAHFU is also able to put together is the annual Garifuna Community Forum, which began in 2005 at Mabatua, then in 2006 at LA Southwest College, 2007 and 8 at Medgar Evers College in Brooklyn, New York, and in 2009 at Cal State University, Los Angeles. So thank you again, and welcome to the first annual Garifuna American Heritage Awards.
My name is Martha Bernice Ovado Martinez. I am honored and thankful to God and for you people who had seen the effort I do. I appreciate that and I'm honored. And I want to give a message always to the younger people. Be respectful. Know your culture. Don't be ashamed. I have been working to help you guys because the culture is beautiful, rich. Our parents, our ancestors were self-employed people. They do their own work, and mostly in the culture, they never had the education that you guys have today, but they do their own songs, they dance their own rhythm, they do everything for themselves. So now, you younger people, it won't take you much to learn. I want you guys to remember that Garifuna is a beautiful culture, especially the language. Try your best not to forget it. If you have any problem and want to learn about it, we are here for you. We don't want to lose it. So keep it up. Don't be ashamed. Try to ask your mom about certain word. And I know a Garifuna child in a home, a mom can answer any question to you. And the people who had inspired me years ago, well, I had lost some of them. Mrs. Ellis Baker, who had started it before me, and Justo Mena, Mr. Justo Flores, and Mr. Palacio, Clifford Palacio came on, and many others. I might not mention all the names, but I have you in my heart for being there with me and patient and encouraging me. Because there would be times that I get discouraged, but there are good people back there behind me. We will be with you. But most of all, as I had said, thanks to the parents and the mothers who had stand with their kids to be with us. Because there are some parents, they enjoy helping me. Not all of them, but there are most of them who enjoy bringing their kids and work with them. So I thank God for all those good people, that stands behind me. And the young people who admires my work or admire me, I would like to ask them, please be patient, because that's the only way we can do a good job. Understand it and know who you are, and don't be ashamed of your culture. Keep it up. Teach the other kids. Those younger kids, young ladies who had been Miss Garifuna for years, keep it up. Don't lose it. Don't sit on it. You have a lot to teach out there. And remember, be patient, understanding, and love yourself. When you love yourself, you're going to love your culture. We are all Garinago people, and this is something was left to us by our ancestors. They had done all the hard work for us, fighting, hiding, running, even die for this culture. So let us try and keep it up, okay? Thank you so much, and thank God for all this work and the people who had seen how hard we have worked. Without you people, I could have never do this.
My name is Anita Martinez. I am the daughter of Jane Garcia Lambe and Leandro Lambe. I was born in the village of St. Vite. I would like for the next generation to step up to the plate like you, Cheryl. You're doing your part. From the minute I saw your writing, I knew there was something special about your connection with Garifunanis. I wish there would be more people, more young people like that, and we need to do our part. It's important for us to teach them pride in themselves and in the Garifuna, in being Garifuna. And we have to present Garifuna as a viable alternative to them or maybe even not an alternative, that it can only complement their lives, that embracing their Garifuna-ness can only enhance their lives. I would like to see them more involved. We have a tendency to just kind of be with each other, and we're comfortable without getting the young people involved. As a matter of fact, I was amazed at myself in my recent venture with the nuns. I've always been about young people, having them involved, and then I was a bit disappointed that I didn't get them as involved as I always often do. So I think that we as adult leaders need to reach out, even when it's awkward. We need to make the effort to reach out to those young people, so that we can find the little Garifuna jewels that might be hidden somewhere and bring them forth.
I was born in the city of Tela, about 8 kilometers from the village of El Triunfo de la Cruz, where my mother is from. Because I was born in the city, and in the city, people don't speak Garifuna, they speak Spanish. So we did not learn to speak speak Garifuna at early age until when I was about 9 years old, when I was brought to Triunfo de la Cruz, the Garifuna village. That's when I was introduced heavily to the Garifuna language. But even though I did not speak it myself, but I was understanding everything. When I came to the United States in the 80s, early 80s, I was very fluent in Spanish. I learned English, but I still left the Garifuna in the background. But in the 90s, 1991, when I moved to Los Angeles, California, I really started speaking the language, because people were talking to me in Garifuna, and everybody here in Los Angeles were speaking in Garifuna in the meetings. Yeah, so I was appointed president of SONOCA, Sociedad Negra Hondureña de California. Then I became very fluent speaking Garifuna because of the assistance of Dr. Bernardes, who's a Garifuna linguist. He's also a pioneer in writing the Garifuna language. So I visited with him every night, almost every night, maybe 3-4 times a week, up to about 3 a.m. He was writing a book at that time called Wabagari, or he was writing a book at that time, and I assisted the illustrations for the book. All the illustrations for that book I was working on. But at the same time, while we were writing and illustrating the book, we were speaking in Garifuna, and also giving me lessons about Garifuna, how it goes, and how we don't have to think in English, how we don't have to think in Spanish. When we are speaking in Garifuna, we really have to think Garifuna. That's why I was able to start a dictionary work, picking up words from people here in California. I had a thick notebook in my pocket all the time, everywhere I went, because words, I started writing simple words I didn't know. I wasn't familiar with the meaning or the use of it. But then, at the same time, I started encouraging the speaking of our language at home. My wife and I decided that it was the best thing for the best interest of our children. So we started imposing the speaking of our language in our house. Therefore, the children eventually spoke the language at home, and now they're also very fluent in the Garifuna language, even though some of them were born here in the States. First of all, I do advise everyone to consider and do something about speaking the language at home, because the same way we come over here in 6 months, we're very fluent in English, and even though we were never exposed to the English language, same way we can teach our language to the children, and we have to start at home. We really have to start at home, and by doing so, the kids will notice the importance of the language, because you as parent makes it important to them. Let's not forget who we are. Let's remember what happened in St. Vincent. Let's go back to Africa, what happened to the African people, how we arrived to St. Vincent, and the way our ancestors did fought so hard to preserve their freedom and to be able to inherit us with the Garifuna dual. Let's not forget that. And when we are at home, when we are in our daily activities, when we are at work, when we are in school, everywhere in the world, let's remember that we, the Garinagu, are the survivors. They are maybe the only African descent survivor in this continent that preserved their language, and that also made us the only ethnicity that are considered native of this continent. The only ethnicity with African descent that is native of the American continent.
My name is Clifford Palacio, and I'm from Belize. I was born in a small village, Saint Bite. I grew up in Saint Bite and Dalriga town. So I have experience in living in a small town, small village, and living in a bigger place. I have been teaching for forever, from 1947. Calculate that. I am married. I have a big family. I won't tell you how many. You might be frightened. Genga Garifuna, what does that mean? I can speak Garifuna. So Narufuta Garifuna whom I'm going to teach you Garifuna. I am very happy that you are here, and I applaud you for making that decision to come to this class. You are a part of history. This has never been done before as a group like this. And you must take pride in being a Garifuna or wanting to learn Garifuna. And I am very, very happy to see that. I don't promise that you are going to learn how to speak Garifuna, because you didn't come here to learn. I see some faces, I wonder. You came here to learn how to learn, and that's what I'm going to do for you.
Thank you. Music is the expression of beauty. And if you are a musician, you are an artist. And there was a time that somebody asked me, how can you define music? Music is the art of composing sounds so they can be agreeable to your ears. That's the definition I came up with. And I'm in love with nature. I'm in love with art. And if eventually you will notice that most of the drawings of the stationery of the Garifuna societies, community clubs that have been founded here in Los Angeles, I did the stationery drawing for the logos and the name. Let's say the Preservation of Garifuna Cultural Society Incorporated, I came up with the name and I came up with the logo. Garifuna Settlement Day also, and the late Sonoca, Sociedad Negra Hondureña del Sur de California, I also came up with the logo and the name also. And of course, this wasn't a name that I imposed on the clubs or the society. This was only suggestion I was voted on, and I was lucky.
Can you tell me how sacred is the garam, the drum?
Oh yes, the garam, and if you are familiar with the Garifuna spirituality, virtually Garifuna won't do nothing without the garam. And we have healing dances, and we have ritual dances for our ancestors that they no longer with us here in this world. However, the spirits will come to us, and we will do the gu, the chubu, etc., Mali, and others. However, what I like it better is the sound. And doing this is like a beat from my heart. And there was a time way back in 1992 we made the first CD recorded in Garifuna. The Chatelier did it in September 1992, and the name happens to be Heartbeat in the Music. And trust me, I was one of the coordinators on it, and every time I hear this, it's like my heart going boom, boom, boom. The Garifuna meaning to me as a personal, it means everything that involved my life. I'm talking about my language, myself, my history, our history, and it means the way of life, and I'm talking about Garifuna the world since childhood all the way to now. I'm always oriented my life to turn around being Garifuna and relate to the Garinagu people and make our life rich. The main thing I want the Garinagu to know is be conscious about who you are, be conscious about our culture, and I always said, Afagwa wama, hilure lamuga wabagari. Let's all strive together so our life will be fruitful.